What's up, people of the internet? Mike Dawg Digital here, and today I'm going to show you the basics of After Effects. Okay, so let's get started. When you launch After Effects, you're going to see this screen right here. These are previous projects that I've been working on, so you won't have these. And I'm just going to click on New Project. Now you're going to notice that it's still everything is blank. So we actually need to go to Composition and New Composition, or Command N, and I'm going to make mine an HD TV 1080 24. This means that it's 1920 by 1080 and it's 24 frames a second. And the resolution will be full, and it's going to be 10 seconds long. And we're just going to hit OK. Now I'm going to try and explain what a few of these panels are. Over here is our project media, and this is where all of your assets to your project will go. Also, this is where you will be able to edit effects that are on certain layers. Here is the preview window. This will show you how your animation is going to look. And over here we have various properties for our layers, such as alignment and our character spacing and stuff like that. And finally, down here is the most important part of After Effects. This is the timeline. Now I'm going to press Q, and this is going to select my shape tool up here, and it's going to be a rectangle. But if I hold Shift and press Q, it'll also go through the rounded rectangle, the ellipse, the polygon, and the star. But for now, I'm just going to quickly draw a rectangle. Now you'll see that there's a layer down here, and it has a contents property. It has the rectangle path, the stroke, the fill, and the transform rectangle properties. And it has transform properties, which are the basic elements for every single layer in After Effects, which is the anchor point, the position, the scale, the rotation, and the opacity. You can apply these to every single layer in After Effects. Now to bring up these properties, what you would do is you would select the layer, and for position you would press P, for rotation you would press R, for scale you would press S, for opacity you would press T, and for anchor point you'd press A. Now I'm just going to make a real quick animation here. What we're going to do is make this rectangle go from the outside of the composition to about in the center. And how we're going to do this is we're going to modify the position property. So I'm going to press P. Now I have my position property right here, and we're going to click this little stopwatch. And what this will do is create a keyframe. And once you've clicked this stopwatch on any property, you can keyframe its values. So now I'm actually going to move this keyframe because the rectangle is where I want it to be in the end, right? So I'm going to grab this keyframe, and I'm just going to move it about right here. Now all I'm going to do to make the rectangle come into the screen is simply hold Shift and left arrow key until it's off the screen. And I'm going to make sure that my current time indicator is at the very beginning of this layer, right? Now if I press space, which is the play button, I'm going to show you the importance of all 5 of these properties. So now that we've tinkered with the position, let's tinker with the opacity, okay? So let's go to the beginning of the layer, and a quick way to do this is to hold Command Option and press the left arrow. So now we're at the beginning of the layer, as you can see. We're going to press T, and we're going to tick the stopwatch on the opacity. And actually we're going to move this also to where the other keyframe was for the position. So I'm going to press U, and it's going to show every keyframe on this layer. So now I can see the position keyframes and the opacity. And I'm just going to move the opacity right here. And now I'm going to bring the opacity down to 0 for the beginning keyframe and 100% for this keyframe. Now watch what this does. See how the rectangle fades in? Now let's say we want to mess around with the scale of the rectangle. Let's kind of make it look like it's coming from far away and coming closer to the screen. So we're going to press S. We're going to go ahead and tick the stopwatch, and actually we're going to press U, And we're going to bring this keyframe in line with these other ones. And then we're going to click on the number right here, and these two numbers are linked together because this little chain is right here. If you push this, these numbers will not be linked, but if you press it, they will be linked. So I'm going to make this 50. So it'll be 50% of its original size. And now it should look like it's flying towards us. Let's press space and see what happens. Ah! Now we're going to add the rotation property. This is R. And we're going to click the stopwatch. And we're going to press U. And we're going to move this keyframe in line with the others. And now we're going to rotate this. We're going to say 360. Just a good old 360 degrees. Now let's see what happens. Oh no! Okay, now you see how the rotation, it rotates, but it doesn't rotate from the center. It rotates around something else. And this is because we need to press Y. And when we press Y, we're going to find that this is the point at which the object rotates around, okay? That's why if I bring up the rotation tool, which is W, you'll notice that it rotates like this. But I want it to rotate from the center. So an easy way to fix that, let's press Y. It's going to bring up the pan behind tool. And you'll see up here that it's selected. And if you hold Control or Command, and you just double click, okay, watch this little anchor point. Watch what it does. I'm going to hold Command and double click. Now it is directly in the center of this rectangle. Now if I use the rotation tool, it rotates the way I want it to. Now let's play our animation back once again. Ah! Okay, now lastly, let's keyframe an anchor point. So what the anchor point is actually this little guy in the center right here. So we're going to keyframe it to where, I'm going to go ahead and click the stopwatch, and we're going to press U so we can see all the other keyframes as well. We're just going to bring this to align with the other keyframes. Now, when we change the values of the anchor point, you see the little center point right here. This is the anchor point, okay? So when we change these, it means that the rectangle is going to rotate around this point at first, but once it gets here, it'll be rotating from the center. So let's watch. And there you go. Now those are the 5 basic animating properties in After Effects, and you use these with everything: text, characters, random blocks, it doesn't matter. These properties are very important, okay? Now I'm going to add another layer to this composition. I'm going to simply press Command Y. This is going to create a new solid, and I'm actually going to make it kind of a pale reddish color. There we go. So I'm going to press OK. Now we have this solid layer, and this layer is above our rectangle. So real quick, I'm going to press Command left bracket and move it to the bottom. So this is what we have now. Kind of boring, kind of cool, whatever. We're going to add a little oomph to this. Okay, so we're just going to click on the bottom layer right here, and we're going to go up to Effect, and we're going to go to Generate, and we're going to go to Gradient Ramp. Now we're going to fix this background up and make it a little more interesting, okay? So we're going to make it about like that color like it was. We'll make this, actually we will make that black. Now we're going to change this from a linear ramp to a radial lamp. Actually we want to reverse these colors. Okay, so I've just adjusted these two settings right here, the ramp scatter and the blend with original, and now it looks a little bit better, I think. And for this layer, we're going to click on this layer, and we're going to go to Effect, and we're going to go to Perspective, and we're going to say Drop Shadow. And I just modified those settings a little bit, so now we have this nice drop shadow. Now let's play this from the beginning and see how it looks now. So that's how you add a gradient, and that's how you add drop shadows in After Effects, you can play around with the settings on both of these effects, and I suggest you do. It helps you learn what all you need to adjust and when. And one more thing I'm going to show you guys for the basic tutorial. I'm going to push Command T, and that's going to bring up the type tool. I'm just going to type in my dog. I'm going to move it to the top layer, and I'm going to move it inside of this rectangle. I'm also going to go over here to my type settings. I'm going to make it about 120. I have my type on this rectangle, and let's say that I want the type to follow the rectangle when it does that, right? Now there's a very easy way to do this. You would simply use this tool. It's called the Pick Whip tool, and you would click and drag from the type layer to the rectangle layer. Now watch what happens now. And that, my friends, is the magic of the Pick Whip tool. And we're going to talk about that in a lot more detail later when we do character rigs, but that's just very basic what it does. And I guess that's pretty much the basics of After Effects. There's a lot more to learn, but this will get you started. So explore, have fun, and this is my favorite Adobe program of all of them. I hope this video was helpful. Leave me a like if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment and let me know how I did. If you have any more questions about After Effects, leave that in the comment section as well. And subscribe for more tutorials.